36 tells the story of an event that we have not heard about. What made you, what gave you the idea to push this story over another, like 1948, or even about for the Croatian, for example?
1936 for me, it was an important moment to talk about because it marks the first Palestinian uprising, mass uprising, and it's such a critical moment in our history and our story. And I wanted to tell the story of 1936, of this mass uprising of the people against British colonialism. And it was really an incredible moment. And it sets the stage for everything that comes after. I think there's been a lot of great films about the Nakba in 1948, including Elie Sleiman, The Time That Remains. Other filmmakers have explored it, Farha. But we never talk about 36, and it's really important to understand, and I wanted to explore it more.
While you were preparing the film or working on this movie, did you feel that this particular topic would be maybe more difficult to produce, create over your past films?
Yeah, for sure. It was, I think we all knew that it was going to be the biggest, most ambitious film we ever made in Palestine. And it's, it's a Palestinian story that was made with Palestinian director and writer, Palestinian producer, Palestinian costume designer, Palestinian props, Palestinian production designer, costume designer, Palestinian location manager, casting. Like, the heart of this film is made by us Palestinians about a moment in our history and told our way. We had a lot of international support, especially French and British, financially, and even some team, but really the core of the film is us. And we knew it was going to be the most difficult film we ever made, and the most important.
The cast is international, so you worked with obviously Palestinian actors and British actors and other nationalities. How did you choose this cast specifically?
It's a very large cast, and the Palestinian actors are a mix of people that I've worked with in the past. Saleh Bakri, who's my partner in all my films. We started together, we continue together. Hiam Abbas is our first collaboration together, and I worked with her on Rami, an episode of Rami, but this is our first really, work together, and we are very connected. Yasmin Al-Masri, I imagined her for the role of Khulud. Dhafar Al-Abidin, who's Tunisian, I felt very strongly that he could be a great Emir for the film, and I know that he can change his accent and do other accents, and he worked very hard on his accent. It was a beautiful, pan-Arab cast. Also had Syrian actors, so it's a mix of, Palestinian, Syrian, etc. And then the British cast, of course, Jeremy Irons, who was his participation in the film was really like a gift.
You included archives in the movie. What was your intention by making this movie this way, with real images and fiction mixed together?
For me, the archive in the film was just a really important way to see Palestine, what Palestine was, because of course most of it has been destroyed. Many of the places in the archive don't exist anymore. So it was a really important way to show the world of the characters, the world that they live in, And I find that the archives were so beautiful because they are real, and because, you know, it's a fiction film, but all of the story is our story and a real story. And I think it was a way also to reclaim the archives, because those are British archives. And for me, it was a way to take back our archives and to color them and to see our world and how beautiful it was.
You made the movie through during the genocide. How did you manage to work, like also in Jordan, but also in Palestine? You managed to film lots of scenes in Palestine.
It was very difficult, but I really, you know, shooting in Jordan during the genocide was not what we, you know, the whole film was supposed to be in Palestine, and when we were not able to continue, we had to go to Jordan. We're very familiar with shooting in Jordan, and the scenes that we did in Jordan, we were not able to do in Palestine. We were not able to film anymore, like the village, for example. Came back to shoot in Palestine. It was very important for me that the film was shot in our country, on our land. And even during the genocide, it was very important for us that we refuse to be erased. And it was, I think, a way, in many ways, it was an act of resistance for us, that we were going to make our film the way we wanted to.
So the Palestine 36 is nominated for the Oscars. What does it represent for you to have this specific movie represented in the United States and globally?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big honor that we're, you know, shortlisted and representing Palestine for the Oscars. And I think I'm very proud of what we did. It felt like it was impossible, this film, and it feels like it was a miracle that we were able to finish it. It was a miracle that we could finish it. So now to be shortlisted, for me, the most important thing is that it's that the film exists and we can share it with audiences everywhere, and that people can see the film. And there are places like France where we've always screened our films, and, you know, the UK, we're now 10 weeks in the cinema in the UK. I mean, it's been really great, but the United States has always been a very difficult place for Palestinian cinema and for Palestinian voices. So just being shortlisted for the Oscars means mainly for me that the audience we would maybe find a better, like, a way to reach our audience, because we are blocked by distributors, we are blocked by the mainstream. So the more we can get the word out that Palestine 36 exists, it means we have a path to reach our audiences.
Absolutely. Did you feel that there was a greater shift, like, in the industry about Palestine, from the distribution, producers, actors? We saw a large mobilization. Do you have, like, an insight into?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope so. I don't know if I hope it's not a trend. I only believe action. I only believe we've all been around long enough to know that words are empty, and I believe in action. So I think people are talking about Palestine in places we were not able to talk about Palestine before. And that's because of a generation of people who have worked towards that. They've lost their jobs because of that. And people are still losing their jobs because of that. But I think you cannot keep, like, the cap on a bottle when it's going to explode. People want to know. People know they're being lied to, and they are responding to that. But I think people are still paying a high price for talking about Palestine.
With this movie, you want to show an event that we don't know a lot about. Do you think, what is your opinion on the art to speak about colonial issues and violence maybe compared to other forms of arts?
Yeah.
as well?
Well, I think that it's very important that people tell their own story, and especially the colonized. Um, a lot of people, and it's not just Palestine, all the countries in the world, people who are have been colonized, people have been telling stories about us, and it's very radical and important that we tell our own stories in our own voices without compromise in the way that we want to. And so I feel very proud about Palestine 36 also for that reason, that we did it our way without any compromise in terms of the creativity. And I think it's important that for everybody, I mean, the film is very specifically a Palestinian story, but any country that was colonized is still trying to deal with that colonization and the destruction of our societies, of our countries, of our people, and we're trying to respond to that. And so I think that the audience for this film also has found, from India to Ireland to Algeria to, I mean, it's our story, and it's a familiar one.
And lastly, are you already working or thinking of your next projects in cinema?
I'm recovering from this one still.
That's what I thought.
Yes, it was very difficult. It was already difficult, and then it became much more difficult and more difficult. I'd like to spend some time with my family now, and deal with life. But I'm, of course, always thinking of new things. I think, though, I will not do something at this scope again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.